everybody, Kathy Tooley. Thanks for joining us today. So I want to talk today about student-teacher repair conversations. Now, what's a student-teacher repair conversation? It's a conversation where you as the teacher has to have some kind of repair conversation, probably based on a behavior that your student has exemplified. So they can be a couple of different kinds. It can be not an ongoing problem and something that just happened today and it was so egregious that you simply can't ignore it. I know you've all had those situations where a student yells out, throws things, says something, hits somebody right here, right now, in that moment. And I've got to pull them away and we've got to have a conversation. Sometimes it's not that severe. Sometimes it's kind of been an ongoing, what I call little nuisance. You know, they take their feet every day and put them up to that line, but today they stepped over. Today they crossed over. So it's any time when you as an educator have to have some form of repair conversation to redirect the behavior. To have a student understand that what they did is inappropriate and what they did is unacceptable. Because you have a relationship. I call this a student-teacher repair conversation because it's about repairing our relationship. It's about what you just did is broken something that should be normalcy in our class. So a couple of things I want to talk about. We'll refer over here to my handy dandy board. What does it look like? Then I'll get into the specifics. I'll get into the specifics in a minute of exactly what it is. A repair conversation shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. And as a matter of fact, it's less if you have younger students. Remember, the attention span of most students is no longer than their age. So if you have a 5-year-old that you're out there trying to talk to, you've probably got a couple of minutes. If you've got a 17, 18-year-old, I can get by with a good 5-6 minute conversation. But this is not something you pull them out in the hallway and talk to them for an hour. It should also be an opportunity pulling a student out of class maybe later. Maybe if the situation happened at the end of your class period, if you have another teacher's permission and can step aside and pull them away. And it absolutely is an opportunity where you pull them aside in the hallway, during lunch, in the cafeteria, as they pass you later to go to a class and say, come here a minute, got a second real quick? Because sometimes if the situation was so charged in your room, they're not ready to have that conversation right then. Okay, now what does the conversation look like? The conversation looks like this, and I want you to know that this is word for word. Word for word. So you might want to snap a picture of this, jot this down. I'm okay that you rearrange it in what feels better for your words. Sounds more like what you would say, but I don't want you to change the order. Not for a true student repair conversation. So the first one says this: can we agree that today, yesterday, depending on when you're catching them, and never make it more than 24 hours, especially for anyone in a primary grade. A primary almost needs it immediately. But even a secondary student, when you're saying, do you remember what happened last Thursday in class? They don't remember what they had for lunch, let alone what happened last Thursday in class. Or do you remember 2 weeks ago when I told you, don't do that. Today or yesterday was not great. So it's going to sound like this. Do you remember yesterday when I asked you to be quiet a couple times and you threw your book on the floor? Can we agree that that wasn't great? Now they may say, I didn't throw my book on the floor. Okay. Can we agree that when you raised your voice at me before the book that you didn't throw on the floor wasn't great? Well, I wasn't really disagreeing with you. I was just talking. Okay. Can we agree that you talking back to me yesterday in class wasn't great? Well, yeah, I could agree with that. See what I did? I'm going to keep negotiating until I finally get him with, I don't care if we want to talk about the book, the yelling, or the talking. The whole thing was bad. The whole thing was bad. And if I have to just go down to a lower river to get you to go, well, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, that I did. Yeah. Okay, can we agree that wasn't good? So go back and forth. That's necessary until we get on the same page. So let me try another one with you. Can we agree when you bopped that kid in front of you on the top of the head with your book that that wasn't great. Well, I didn't hurt him. I get that. But can we agree that you picking up a book and bopping someone on the back of the head is probably not good? Well, I didn't hit him very hard. Okay, I give you that. But can we agree that picking up a book and bopping another student on the head is probably not a good idea? Well, yeah, when you put it that way, it's not. You see what I did? I just negotiated until they finally go, yeah, that probably wasn't good. Because once I get them to acknowledge, because remember, behavior is about them, not about me. Once I get them to acknowledge, oh yeah, that probably wasn't good, then I could take on to the next step. This is what this needs to sound like. So in other words, you're going to insert here, this is what this class needs to sound like. In this class, we don't pick up books and bop people on heads. Don't laugh, because I know you're trying to. In this class, we don't yell when I'm speaking. In this class, we don't disrespect someone else when they're talking. And you continue by saying, so I'm going to need you to be part of that. I'm going to need you to not pick up a book and bop somebody on the head. I'm going to need you to not yell when I'm speaking. I'm going to need you to be on time. You see what I'm doing? None of this is about me. This is about what I need you to do to be successful. Always make some kind of statement like this. Find something that fits for you. I say, my statement is, I care about you and your success. That may feel clunky. Say things like, it matters to me that you're in here on time so we can start class on time for everybody. It matters. It's a way of letting kids know, and sometimes too often in too many of our schools, kids don't know that they matter and that they're loved and that they're cared about. And discipline is a form of love. It is a form of love. Teaching a student that a behavior like this has to happen is a form of love. So making some kind of statement here, letting them know that they're loved and cared about. Whatever feels natural to you. Get used to it. Practice whatever feels good. For me, I just simply said, you matter to me and your success matters to me. And jokingly, sometimes I said to high school kids who would say to me, Miss Tooley, why do you care so much? Because you are my Social Security. If I don't help you go on and be successful and have a job and be fruitful and pay your taxes, I don't get to retire. And the kids laughed at it, but it was kind of true. And I kind of meant it. And while I tongue-in-cheek joked it, it was my way of saying, I want you to graduate. I want you to go on and be successful. And you throw at a book or bopping somebody on the head with a book. And yes, high school teachers, you know I'm talking to you. We have that too. We've taught freshmen. They are our kindergartners. We know that. Matters to me. Then I need to say this. What can I do to communicate to you more effectively during class when I need you to follow the directions or when I need you to do whatever? So sometimes I've said that to a student and they have said, can I stand up sometimes? Sometimes just sitting. If I could just stand up, Miss Tooley, if I could just stand up. And I would say, what does that look like for you and me? Because I can't have you just getting up. So what does that look like? What kind of code can you and I set up? And we would set up where they would kind of do this to me and then go, can I stand? And when I did this, they were okay to go stand in the back of the room. They needed to pace for a few minutes. They were still listening to me. They were fine. Or sometimes I had a student say, I really struggle sometimes when you're talking to take notes. Because I know this is shocking to some of you already listening to this video, but I can get where I'm talking kind of fast. I used to laughingly say, I don't talk fast, you just listen slowly. But I said, how can I help you? She said, if you would have the notes bulleted and always visual, I could follow you. Done. I already had the notes visual anyway, right? They were just visual for me. Now I just put them on something like this where she can follow them. So ask them, what can I do? And it may be something as simple, because I don't know that I can help you not pick up a book and bop a kid on the top of the head. What I can do is help you, whatever that kid did to annoy you that made you want to pick up a book and bop him on the head. So this statement here is really about, how do you and I get a partnership now going forward? What does that look like? How do I support you? And the last one, you have to put the line in the sand. Here's what's going to happen if you don't hold up your end of the bargain. Here's what's going to happen. You pick up a book again and bop him on the top of the head with it and insert blank. They have to understand that I don't care if they're 5 or 18, there are consequences for their behavior. It isn't a threat. And I know some of you are watching this video going, gosh, this all sounded so nice, but now I'm like, you do that again. And you're, well, if I said it like that, that's a threat. I'm just going to end it by saying, let's make sure we're clear. Should you choose to do that again, this is what you're going to force me to do. Again, about their choices and about then my decision about what they do. Helpful? Good. So as always, I'm going to end with a couple asks, if you don't mind. If you would hit that subscribe button right there, you get subscribed to all the other videos that we're going to be putting out very similar to this. And the beautiful thing is they're there to help you ongoing when you're ready for this student repair conversation that you may or may not be ready for today. And secondly, my ask is, could you please share this with other educators who you think could benefit from seeing some of these tips that make them helpful. And as always, I want to say thank you for watching and thank you for what you're doing each and every single day to make a difference in the lives of our kids. Have a good day.